Hey everyone, I'm Zain Baig, this is Auto Group, and this is the 2021 Toyota Sienna. Isn't it crazy how this car is already here? And now, what's impressive about this 2021 model year particularly is the fact that it's a 2.5 liter hybrid 4-cylinder with two motors. That's everything is powering the front wheels in this particular one. This is a front wheel drive model, but then you can also get it in all-wheel drive where it is an all-wheel drive system, and they add an electric motor in the rear for all-wheel drive system, and it's called like torque on demand or something like that for the all-wheel drive system, which is great. But other than that, just look at this stunning blue on the outside. Like, this just looks incredible. I really like this spec. And inside you got these white seats, but what's really cool about this car is that this one particular is about $44,000. When we come inside, check out this interior, guys. This is so different. Never has Toyota done this with the Sienna, where it actually feels a lot more like an SUV in here. Look at the wood paneling in the middle as well. They have not done this previously, and it is a two-tone interior, so we got slightly darker gray leather seats, and then we actually have, you know, nice two-tone at the top, nice white. Look at that wood right over there. Boom. This is all about your utility, right? So what you got inside over here is a bunch of storage over here. Look at this. You got your little two cup holders. When you close that, you could also put some things here, like maybe your phone or something. Another cup holder. Another one. And you open this. Look how beautifully that opens up. Pretty deep storage in there. Like, there is, oh my gosh, that is really deep. Besides that, you got your main center display. And what's really cool about this is the fact that you got your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and Amazon Alexa all in this system. You got your center gauge cluster as well. It's the 2 classic speedometer tachometer setup with a middle screen, middle LCD display. Anyways, what's a really cool feature about this car is that you get kick to operate for your rear doors. Look at that. You just have to have your key on you, and then it just opens right up. Look at the space. This is just absolutely fantastic for someone who's my height, about 6'2", 6'3". Look at how much legroom I have in the back. I have the seat set basically all the way to the back, the furthest rear position. And you know, this car also has a third row. I'll show you that in a second. But just look at my room. This is absolutely fantastic inside this car. And I miss being in a Sienna. I remember when I was way younger, probably like 5 or 6, we had Toyota Sienna, the old model, you know, like the 2005 model or 2006 model. And this car, just look at how much space it has. From here, if you look at the interior, it looks absolutely fantastic and modern. Previously, you got like a gap in the middle, you know. It was an open cockpit design. You don't really get a third seat in the previous generation Sienna, but you just had a lot more open space over there. But I mean, if you have the utility, then it doesn't really matter. Plus, this layout looks really good, and it's hard to capture on the camera, but there's so much space. The car is actually very wide when you're sitting inside, which is great for tall people and for your space. You know, they implemented the armrest design over here into the sides of the center console, which is great. Previously, I think it was attached to the seat on the side, you know, like a classic minivan type of design. But other than that, look, you got your outlets over here in the back. You got your USB-C and your USB, the regular one. 2 cup holders at the bottom, 1 bottle holder at the side over there, and 1, of course, on my side as well. Why wouldn't they have that? And then you got, you know, your classic. The big thing that people are interested in probably for this car, with the room and everything, you know, it's a heavy car. It's like 4,700 pounds. But what's really epic about this car is the fact that you got that 2.5 liter hybrid powertrain, right? It's a 4-cylinder with 2 electric motors powering the front. That means, while we don't really have like an available torque number right now, I'm gonna have to probably find that and write it in the description, because of the electric motors and how much you can actually use at once versus the individual torque of the electric motors. What's awesome is the fuel economy. Toyota rates this at 36 city and 36 highway. Isn't that fantastic? I'm pretty sure you could even get more on the highway, especially more than that number, but that is just fantastic. In such a heavy car, you got a fantastic fuel economy rating. Like, that's amazing to me. I love that. So I think that is really the biggest selling point of this new Sienna to me, is the fact that, first of all, I mean, it looks great, but that's like a personal, everybody has their own taste, but the fuel economy is just incredible. Now it can finally compete with the Pacifica Hybrid from Chrysler, particularly because of the hybrid powertrain. So that is great. And then you can of course get your all-wheel drive system, which is, I mean, you might not really need it for most places where you live, but I guess for some of the snowy areas you might want that as well. Since this is the hybrid, now you do have a CVT in replacement of a classic 8-speed like we did have last year. Last year I believe it used the exact same powertrain as the Toyota Highlander and the Lexus RX, 295 horsepower with the 8-speed, but nobody who buys this car really ever cares about performance or buys it for that type of need. So you get your seamless CVT that Toyota makes, paired with its 2.5 liter. So anyways, let's go check out a couple more features on the inside before we go out and go on the drive. And particularly, actually, since we're already outside, let me show you the trunk space. Look, it says Sienna in black. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? Look at that. You got a bunch of room with the third row up, and I should probably go and sit in the third row seat and show you how that all works out as well. That is very important. And of course, this still has your, look here, we got the example of, you know, the quick kick system. So we just kick it right over there and then pass from under it, and boom, there it is, dude. Thank God this actually works each time, unlike a lot of other cars where it doesn't really work on your tries, and then it might be a little awkward on the camera. But so what they did, which I just noticed when I was, you know, just checking this car out like 5 minutes ago, you use this little latch to move it this way, back and forth, which is interesting because normally they usually put it, I think, over here, even for the last generation. But if we just flick this down, it gets automatically into the little, you know, cooped up position, and then you got the inside, boom, the third row seats. Look at that. Okay, so I have moved the seat to about this much room, which is quite a bit for a person probably about like 5'8", 5'9", and since I'm 6'3", if I have to squeeze back here for a road trip, this is totally fine. This is totally doable for me. Maybe just this headroom situation is a bit cramped, and the little headrests do fold up, and then that's actually not too bad. I thought it was going to be way more crowded in here and way more tight, but you know, it's not a big issue. And then you got your standard, you know, these armrests, the classic minivan armrests in the back with this kind of Stratus gray type of leather interior. Look at that. Look how far back I am. This car is about, I believe, 200 inches or 203 inches, somewhere around there. I'll have the actual number for you in the description, hopefully. Look at this. You got the small little windows as well, the tinted windows looking out, which is a very classic touch. And then you still got two cup holders back here, which is impressive. Then you got two more cup holders over here, and look at that. You got your USB and the normal USB. That is absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and lower down that third row, and let's see how much stuff you can potentially get in the back of the trunk when the third row is down. Okay, so I have just lowered the third row, and this is how much space you have. Look how far forward that seat is. I can't even reach it from here. You got so much space. So, you know, over here, boom, you could just do that a little bit if you want to protect the top of the seats as well. But it is a pretty flat floorboard, and I could show you when I pick up these seats. Boom, there it is in that position, and this one is obviously flat. So it kind of goes into its little cave over in the back when you put them up or down. And then it has this latch. You pull this, and then you just pull it all the way towards you, and it kind of just does the process by itself, like that. Boom. And when you pull it up into this position first, then boom, like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out a couple of the infotainment features now. Look at this. We got our powered seats. They move back and forward, and you have your recline as well. You also have lumbar support, and you even have the movement of going up and down with the lumbar support, which is absolutely fantastic. You got a little glove compartment over here as well. It's pretty big. Boom, you got a lot of storage on this side. I can show you on my side as well. You got a lot of storage. What's interesting is that it has a bottom connected gas pedal. Very interesting. A pretty classic gauge cluster. I thought it was going to be a fully digital one, but I don't mind that too much, especially for a car like the Sienna, which is all about practicality and traditional comfort. You got your audio settings, and you got your phone, you got your app store, you got the projection where you click that, and then it says please connect a compatible device via the USB, and that is for your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you know, features like that. And then it also has Amazon Alexa, So you got your manual tilt and telescopic wheel. Put that into place. Close that up. What's cool is that you got, since it is the hybrid, it has the EV mode. I think for up to 25 miles per hour, it will be in fully electric mode. Then over here, we got our drive mode selector. So right now it's in normal. As soon as you put it into sport, it gets a little bit more red, and then you can push it down into eco and it gets a little green. So that is that for the gauge cluster. Pretty nice and simple. I really like that. And then you have your charge and your eco and your power displays. So that usually changes as soon as you know, go from the electric motor to the gas engine and stuff. But still, all your utilities, of course, stay on when they're in the electric mode. Look at this little shelf area down here. I really like the way that is set up with the wood trim. Looks beautiful in that regard. Very, very nicely done, Toyota, with the Sienna. Then if you click on map, the navigation app is not installed, it says. So you need the navigation app from Toyota, or of course, you know, you can use your Apple CarPlay and stuff.
Got a lot of stuff over here. You know, if you want that window down or whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, there's pretty fantastic visibility.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that incredible?
It is so good.
And part of that's the stronger construction leads to more narrow pillars.
Yeah.
Definitely better visibility, pulling up to a full-way stop.
Wow, very interesting. This is, I think, this is my first time driving one of these hybrid powertrains from Toyota. And it's,
okay.
Yeah, very smooth.
And you're not giving up anything for space. I mean, there's no bump where the battery's at or anything like that.
Yep.
You got actually more space than the previous year.
Wow.
And again, on a hybrid, your brakes and tires are going to last longer. So a lot of the
regenerative.
Yeah, regenerative braking. A lot of the braking is actually electric motor braking, so you're not actually using the brake pads. And
that's so good.
You're not putting friction on the tires.
The way this thing picks up is so smooth because of this.
That's the other thing. You have all that torque always there. Every time you touch the pedal, the same amount of torque because it's an electric motor. So it's another.
Very interesting. And it has the CVT.
Correct.
Very interesting. The regenerative brakes have such good pressure. You know, like the way it makes the brake pedal feel effortless.
Yeah.
Okay, so in sport, I noticed, you know, the steering weighs up a little bit, changes the pedal response a little bit.
Yep. And then conversely, the eco mode is actually going to kind of tune down your climate control, give you about 11% less power, but you could get up to 5% better fuel economy. So it's it's pretty slick. They do recommend it if you want to use the eco mode, though. Don't do it until you get the cabin the temperature you want.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, your climate control could be fighting itself to get hotter or the temperature you want.
I get that. Yep.
But that'd be nice for a trip once you get everything rolling, and then
Yep. Wow, I mean, this, you know, it feels so effortless in its response and everything. Very smooth. So you could, like, even if you don't hit the brakes that hard,
you don't feel a lot of.
There's
no. What I'm saying. It's a real solid ride.
Yeah, it is. Like the sound deadening is very good as well.
Yes. Yeah, there's not a lot of
And they did a pretty good job, I think, with subduing like the engine note as well. You know, because with the CVT you do get like that constant engine noise, but they have subdued it pretty well. You know, I don't know if you saw this, but Lexus just added a 4-cylinder ES model.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's 2.5. You know, so it's called the ES 250.
Okay.
And it has all-wheel drive, but it's interesting seeing like that type of engine in a Lexus product because it kind of intrudes with the sound.
Okay.
But you know, in this, it doesn't really. You can't really tell.
No, it's not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're right. It's definitely quiet ride.
Quiet ride. Yeah.
And then on this one, you're getting the Safety Sense 2.0 now, so you're getting lane trace in addition to the radar cruise control lane departure.
Very nice.
It's going to be full speed radar cruise control too.
That's awesome.
This is a nice setup here.
Yeah,
you got a place to put your arms, pretty comfortable. It almost seems like there's more room up here than the previous.
Yeah, very wide, you know.
And this is nice, but it's not intrusive. You know what I mean? It's not too much space
totally,
there, and you still got some storage under there as well.
Because I think the last year model, it had that open design, right? So, but I mean, you don't really need that because there wasn't a like a middle seat.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not like there's a bench in the front. And you got the cup holders right here. Now, I think that was one complaint on the last model. It was a little bit harder to get to the cup holders.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got so many cup holders.
You got easy storage, too.
That's amazing.
Charging all over the place. I think there's 7 charging things on this car.
Nicely done. Over here on my left, you got these buttons like your traction control on and off, you know, like this. And then but you have the power door off setting as well in here, which is interesting. You can turn off the power doors if you want to. And
now on the up here they toggle. You got to open or close. You know, so you can just hit the
for the doors.
It was just one door before, or one option. Just hit the button, so you don't.
That's great. That's a good feature.
Yeah, and then power lift gate too.